Chelsea are going to have to fork out 24 million to sack Liam Rosenior. Let that sink in a minute. A man that's been in for just a few months is already going to cost Chelsea 24 million. Add that to the mounting debts and their poor financial results that they've just released a few weeks ago. Chelsea are in a mess. Chelsea are on the verge of not qualifying for Europe whatsoever. This has to go down as one of the worst managerial appointments in Premier League history. Was the writing not on the wall when Chelsea thought arrogantly that they could bring in a manager that was not qualified or anywhere near qualified enough to even be an assistant coach in the Premier League? What experience did Rosenior have? Chelsea, in their crazy thoughts on how they were going to change football, and this is how they were going to operate and win things going forward, bringing in young coaches, bringing in loads of young players, big contracts. Chelsea think that they can just do things differently. And they are getting their comeuppance big time right now, thinking that they could buy their own women's team, sell hotels just to break financial fair play rules and hit that loophole that they needed to do to continue spending the way that they have spent. And yes, they got a lot of money for winning the Club World Cup. They won a European trophy last season. They have had this coming. And to get rid of Maresca, who was comfortably in European football positions with Chelsea. Yes, the fans didn't quite like him. They didn't quite like the way it was going. But to bring in Rosenior, that, for me, I think is an embarrassment to the manager that's just left. Imagine being replaced by Liam Rosenior. And nothing against Liam Rosenior at all. Look, I don't like the way he talks. I think he comes across arrogant. And I think the way that he speaks, off the back of his history and the back of his career in management, I think is an absolute joke, honestly. And this is how I look at him. He's talking like he's been doing this job for years and has a multitude of Premier League experience and experience in football at the highest level. He just doesn't. You look and compare him to, like, for instance, Michael Carrick in a similar situation right now, who's not even likely to get the job. Carrick has just taken Manchester United forward, kept things simple, kept humble, and just got on with the job. Liam Rosenior's come into Chelsea, and he's just acted like a Chelsea person. And look, I'm from the north, they're from the south, and you could say that this is like a north-south thing. I just don't like the way that they talk and how arrogant they are and how they come across. It's none of that at all. It's just that Chelsea do come across very arrogantly, and like we've said before on many shows, and many people have debated, they've always tried to cheat the system. Everything that Roman Abramovich did when he came in, and all of the sanctions and charges that have come on Chelsea for that, and the punishment that they've got, which isn't big enough in my opinion. All of this, and then moving forward, selling the women's team, hotels, just to beat financial fair play, buy everybody and put them on these crazy contracts, doing things the Chelsea way, and thinking that they can get away with it. If there is any club that deserves their comeuppance and deserves to get the results that they are currently getting, it's Chelsea. And Liam Rosenior's come in and just acted like a Chelsea person instantly. He's not changed anything. He's not come in and tried to be this humble new coach who has got no experience in European football or at the highest level of European football. He's just come in and he's just carried on the way that Chelsea are, and he's fitted in perfectly. And you know what? I think every single opposition fan is looking at this and nobody's feeling sorry for him. You've got a man here who's actually secured the future for his family now for the next God knows how many years. 24 million for this, for what he has done. Chelsea have just pressed the self-destruct button in appointing this man. He was never, ever going to turn Chelsea's season around. What was turning it around, by the way? Were they expected to win the league? Were they expected to challenge City and Arsenal? But Maresca wasn't ideal, no, but he was getting results and keeping Chelsea in the mix. We have been looking at Chelsea as opposition fans just on the cusp of everything that's going on right now and thinking we just need to get ahead of Chelsea. But when you dive deep into the issues at Chelsea, it goes under Rosenior a lot worse than what actually looks like like there is a problem on the surface. It goes a lot deeper. And when you look into it, 5 straight defeats with 0 goals scored. That's a sackable offence for a mid-table team, let alone Chelsea, who was supposedly supposed to be closing the gap on City and Arsenal, or even qualifying for the Champions League. 1 win in 9. Oh my days. By the way, the record for the 0 wins in 5, as in 5 straight defeats, no goals scored in that, 1912 was the last time that happened. A century's worth of horrific form at the top level for Chelsea. 1 win in 9. When you look at that, that's an average of 1.3 points per game. That puts him 16th out of 17 Chelsea managers in the last century alone in terms of form. It is also relegation fodder form. Horrendous for Liam Rosenior. And nowhere to go for Chelsea. What happens now? If they get rid of Liam Rosenior now, where do they go? They have literally got 4 games left this season, and they are just sleepwalking out of European football. Chelsea cannot afford to be out of European football. Their model is built at least on Champions League football. It is an embarrassment for them to be in the Europa Conference League. Yes, they were in it last season and they won it, and that got them back up there again, and the feel-good factor was there, back into the Champions League as well by finishing in the top 5 alongside winning that trophy, winning the Club World Cup. Great. Even the start of the season looked quite promising for Chelsea. Maresca went out, Rosenior came in, he won his first 4 games. Fantastic. This is it, Chelsea are right. But as we know in football, that new manager balance, once it's gone, and you need that little bit of experience to handle ego players that Chelsea have got a multitude of, it was always going to fail for him. It is horrendous. No wins in 5 straight defeats, in fact, with no goals scored. 1 win in 9. One of the worst runs in terms of form and points per game in Chelsea's history. That's Liam Rosenior. And that, for his services, is going to cost the Chelsea hierarchy 24 million. Let that sink in. That's how bad a situation Chelsea have developed for themselves. And looking in from the outside, there is zero sympathy whatsoever for this football club. They have cheated the system for years and got away with it. And everybody gets what they deserve in football. And I think Chelsea are going to get it. And look, I don't want to make this a witch hunt and a hate fest onto Liam Rosenior. He does wind me up. He does annoy me. He's got one of them attitudes that really does actually get on my nerves. But I think Chelsea putting him in position, that's not his fault. He's going to take that job all day long. It would have been better staying at Strasbourg, but nobody's going to turn down the big opportunity. Why are Chelsea even looking at Rosenior in the first place? The whole model and structure around that football club is now completely in the spotlight, and I don't know where they go. Where do Chelsea go next? It is a club in crisis. And that is crazy to say when you're comparing them to the likes of Spurs, for instance, this season. It is absolutely ludicrous that Chelsea have got themselves in this position, because they have got some big games now in the last 4. If Chelsea don't make the Europa League, for instance, which is where they are, where they're below now, then that alone is going to cost them massively. They have invested insane amounts of money on players that are just not good enough. All we're doing right now as a Manchester United fan base is laughing at Chelsea for paying what they did for the likes of Garnacho and convincing Liam Delap to actually go to them instead of coming to us. We have dodged one of the biggest bullets ever in last summer's transfer window. We all felt that Manchester United were on a downward spiral. We didn't get Delap. We were going to struggle. We had no European football at all. But Chelsea came and saved us. Thank you, Chelsea, for taking Liam Delap and Alejandro Garnacho. They are exactly what that club deserves right now. And again, I don't know where Chelsea go from here. Who do they appoint now? There must have been a manager they thought they could look at maybe in a year or so. But Rosenior was backed before the Manchester United game. And now 2 defeats again, now out of the Europa League places, clinging on to the Europa Conference League from last season. With them financial figures, that is a club that is in turmoil and there is nowhere left to turn. By the way, who would want to go to Chelsea right now with that model and that squad? That's a question I want to ask you. Get into the comments section on this. Who takes a Chelsea job right now with the way that recruitment is going, everything that's happened behind the scenes, and the players that are currently in that squad? Nobody wants that job. Not one manager I can think of is in his right mind is going to think that that is the club for me to progress my career. And for that matter, why don't we look at the players as well and who they're going to sign? No European football? Maybe they should be looking at trying to keep their star assets that they've already got, and that will be a good summer for Chelsea right now. It is crisis season, and Chelsea, I don't know what happens next. You tell me. Get into the comments. This is Adam FC. Let me know if you're loving this type of content. Make sure you get in with the likes and subscribe on the channel as well, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video.